Hi, it's Vanessa Judelman here. I'm so excited today to share with you more information about my program called Leading Your People. And it's a virtual leadership program. And to be honest, I wasn't going to run this program. The reason is I haven't really run a public program for the last 8 years. What I mean by public is that anyone at any organization can join the program. But my clients have been asking me since March. They've been saying, Vanessa, it's been a really tough time for our leaders. Budgets are tight. Many of my clients are in industries that have been affected greatly by COVID. Can you please do something for us? And I thought about it. And I really committed to myself that if I do this, if I run this virtual program, I'm going to do it really well. I want it to be engaging. I want it to be fun. I want people to really learn a lot. And so I decided to do it, and I'm really excited about it. And for the last 4 months, I've really been honing the skill of leading and facilitating engaging meetings virtually. And so I'm really excited about this program. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want to tell you a little bit more about it, and I want to share some context with you as well. So let me just make my face a little bit bigger here, the joys of Zoom. Okay, terrific. So let's talk about the context, right? None of us were prepared to lead during a global pandemic. I mean, it's insane, right? When March hit, none of us were prepared. It really took months and months and months to ease back into a quote unquote normal life. But we're going to layer that issue of unpreparedness onto another issue, which I see with leaders, saw with leaders even pre-COVID. And that is that many leaders get promoted into roles without having any leadership experience or training. So let me give you the example of a leader that I spoke to this morning. He's running a business. He's got 24 people on his team that he's leading now. And he's an engineer, and he's very smart. He's a software engineer, really good at what he does, but he never learned how to lead. And so the two problems that I see these days is you just have that regular issue of really smart people who've never learned basic leadership skills. And two, layer that onto how do I now lead a virtual team? So that's causing a lot of stress for people. I actually surveyed my clients. I said to them, if I'm going to do this course, I really want to tailor it to your specific issues. I don't want to guess what they are. I want to tailor it to your issues. So I asked them what their top 5 leadership issues are right now. And this is what they shared with me. Number 1 is related to team. And how do I take my virtual team? We're all in different places and still feel connected. Number 2 is, Vanessa, in the past, I had problems giving feedback. I tend to avoid having those difficult conversations with people. And now I don't even know how to do it over the phone or virtually. Number 3 is, how do I hold people accountable when they're remote? When I can't walk up to them and say, let me see what you're doing and how can I help? The 4th thing is coaching and developing people. And I have amazing tools for that. And then the 5th, which was really interesting, this is one that surprised me, was how do I even know if I'm effective, if I'm doing this well? In fact, I talked to a client last week, and she said to me, Vanessa, one of the things that I always wondered about is, was I leading properly? And I've heard that from a lot of people. And so I promised myself, if I was going to run this program, it would be really meaningful to all of you. So now that I have these 5 challenges, right, I just want to let you know, if you're struggling with all of these challenges, which are totally normal, it doesn't have to be that way. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I want you to imagine, if you go on this journey with me, what your life will be 3 months from now when the program is done, right? 3 months from now, you could really understand what's expected from you as a leader in today's work environment. You can have a toolkit of practical tools that you'll not only be able to use now in this virtual environment, but one day when we're back working face-to-face with each other, you can use these tools as well. They're completely applicable both virtually and in person. I also want you to think about the fact that 3 months from now, you could feel really confident with those core leadership skills, giving feedback, coaching, delegating, creating high-performing teams, managing this ongoing change. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to use an amazing assessment. It's called the DISC profile, and you'll get to really understand what your strengths and weaknesses are as a leader. So you'll really dial up your self-awareness as well. So You know, I'm always really touched by my clients, and I'm very grateful that I get to do work that's so rewarding. And just this morning, I had a client. She's so incredible and so open to learning and growing. And I put this quote on the slide to share with you. She said, you know, since I started working with you, you've given me a purpose. I have direction now. I wasn't sure before how to lead or if I was doing right. But every time I apply the tools that you teach me, it works and I see results. And that's what I want for you. I want you to see results and to really feel like you have purpose and direction within your leadership practice. So I was thinking when I was preparing these slides for you, if I could pick one word to describe this program, what will it be? Well, definitely fun, but the other one is practical. I really want to make this program as practical for you as possible. So how do I do that? If you haven't worked with me before, I'm going to show you how I do that. So one of the things that I do in all my programs is give step-by-step processes to follow. This is an example of a process, a 4-step process that I teach my clients in how to hold your team accountable. So that would be an example. The second thing that we do is lots of tools, right? The program is very tool-based. So this is an example, not of a tool that I'm going to share in the program, but one from another program that I run called Execute Strategically. It's called OPV. So what you do, this is a tool that you use when you want to really strategically think through something new that you're implementing. And so how the tool works is, let's say you're implementing a new IT platform for people to use within your organization, right? You, on the left-hand side, OPV stands for other people's views. You write all of your key stakeholders, right? Whose opinion or view is important before I launch this new program, right? This new platform. So I need to consider users. I need to consider the executive team. I need to consider HR's perspective, legal's perspective. Maybe I'm bringing in a tool from an external vendor. So on the left-hand side, whose views? And on the right-hand side, you just jot down a list of, well, what would their perspective be? What would the end user's perspective be on this tool? What would the leadership, the senior team's views be? What would, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what it does is it expands your perspective. Rather than just looking at it from your view, you get to have a more holistic perspective. So that's an example of a tool. It's practical, it's quick to use, and you can apply it on the job with yourself or with your team. We also will have 4 or 5 assessments in the program. This, again, is an example of an assessment from the Execute Strategically program, which really helps you to understand what strategy is, and then it helps you to rate yourself. In this program, the first tool that we're going to use is the DISC profile. You will get an assessment to be able to assess your work style. It is one of the best tools. I've been using it for probably 15 years. It's one of the best tools out there to really help you identify your work style and help you gain self-awareness, and as a leader, learn how to adjust your style to meet the needs of the people on your team. It's absolutely terrific. So what's included in this program? Let's get down to the nuts and bolts here, right? 6 2-hour modules. So every 2 weeks we will meet starting November 4th. So I chose Wednesdays because, you know, Mondays and Tuesdays people are kind of intensely focusing on what they need to do for the week, and by Friday everybody's tired, so it's right in the middle of the week. So you're going to get 6 2-hour modules that are going to be very tool focused. You're also going to get a personal coaching session with me, so you'll have an opportunity to bring something from your team, from the real world to me, and we're going to work on that one-on-one. You're going to get a personal development plan to focus on for the next year, action plans to align with that. Peer coaching is a very important part of this program. We do a lot of breakouts. There's a lot of smart people who, like you, who are going to be taking this program, and part of learning together as adults is sharing best practices. So that'll be a very important part of the program. And then finally, 6 workbooks, and I actually call them reference guides. So funny story about these workbooks that you're going to be getting. I was at a client about a year ago, and I was running a leadership program there. And one of the participants from the year before at the break came over to me and said, Vanessa, it's my last day. I'm moving to a new organization, and I'm so happy you're here. I wanted to thank you so much for the program. And he had in his hand one thing that he was taking with him. And what was it? It was the binder from the 6-module program that he went through as a leader, being part of this organization. And he said, this is the one prized possession that I'm taking with me. So these reference guides are places that you can go back to and refer time and time again throughout your career. The program is $1,499 per person. Usually working with me is anywhere from $4,500 to $8,000 plus plus. So I really try to make this affordable during this time where a lot of people budgets have been cut in organizations, and it is a tough time financially for people. What I would recommend you do is organizations have budget for development. If you don't have your own development budget, speak to your HR department or your leader and ask them if they'll support you in this program. Registration is open. It is open for 1 week and closes tomorrow. So act on it quickly. Space is limited. I'm keeping the number small because I want everyone to get maximum value from the program. So 10 a.m. to 12 every other Wednesday, starting November 4th. And you can see the breakdown of what we're going to cover in each program. I'm also going to show you where you can reference all of this document, all of these details online. So get ready for your life to change. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel confident that you can really be an amazing leader in any workplace environment. So where do you register? If you go onto my website, you can either Google Mosaic People Development or go to mosaicpd.com, look for the events tab, and all the information you need to register and about the program and the timing and the cost will be on that page. The other thing I wanted to say is if you do have any questions, please email me. I want you to commit to this. I want you to take a step forward in your career. And 3 months from now, I really want you to feel confident and empowered as a leader. Thank you so much for listening, for joining me for this video, and I really hope to see you in the program.